She destroyed my life with one text. I crushed her world step by step. I thought I'd won. Then I saw her, defeated, broken. Her eyes met mine. My best friend Emma and I were inseparable. For years, we shared everything: secrets, dreams, late-night talks over cheap wine in our Seattle apartments. We both worked at a sleek marketing firm downtown, chasing the same dream: a senior manager position with a $10,000 raise. It was a big deal, enough to cover rent in this overpriced city. I thought our competition was friendly, a little sibling-like rivalry. I was wrong, dead wrong. Last spring, I got the promotion. My heart raced when the CEO called me into his office, a rare smile on his face. I'd worked nights, weekends, poured my soul into campaigns. I earned it. I texted Emma right after, expecting a congrats or at least a thumbs up emoji. Nothing. Radio silence. Her coldness stung, but I brushed it off. She'd get over it, right? Wrong again. A week later, I was called into my boss's office. His face was stone. He slid a printed email across the desk. My stomach dropped. It was a private text thread between me and Emma, one from a tipsy night at my place. I'd vented about my boss, called him a micromanaging jerk. Worse, I'd joked about charming the CEO for the promotion. It was crude, stupid, not serious. Emma knew that. She was my best friend, or so I thought. "You're fired, Lauren," my boss said, voice flat. "This is unacceptable." I tried to explain, but his mind was made up. I left the office, my face burning, hands shaking. By the time I got home to my Capitol Hill apartment, another bomb dropped. My boyfriend Jake was packing his bags. He held up his phone, showing the same texts. I'd also vented to Emma about his mom, how her constant meddling suffocated me. "If you can't respect my family, we're done," Jake said. He walked out, leaving me alone in our half-empty place. Then came the final blow. An edited version of our texts hit social media, twisted to make me look like a backstabbing liar. It spread like wildfire. Friends stopped replying to my messages. Group chats went silent. I called Emma, begged her to explain. She didn't answer. I was jobless, single, and a social outcast. My life was in ruins, and Emma, my lifelong best friend, had lit the match. I sat on my couch staring at the Seattle skyline, my heart pounding with rage. She'd betrayed me, humiliated me, taken everything. I wasn't going to let her get away with it. I couldn't sleep. Every night, I lay in my dark Seattle apartment, staring at the ceiling, replaying Emma's betrayal. My blood boiled. She'd leaked our private texts, cost me my job, my boyfriend, my friends. My life was a wreck, and she was probably sipping wine, smug, thinking she'd won. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms. She didn't get to walk away unscathed. For weeks, I was paralyzed. Anger consumed me, but I didn't know where to start. I wasn't some mastermind, no evil genius with a plan. I was just Lauren, a 29-year-old who'd lost everything. I'd scroll through Emma's Instagram, her perfect smiles mocking me. She posted about moving on and new beginnings. My stomach churned. Moving on? After torching my life? No way. One night, I snapped. I sat on my couch, a half-empty coffee mug in hand, the city lights flickering outside. Enough was enough. I wasn't going to cry anymore. I wasn't going to beg for my old life back. I was going to make Emma pay. I didn't have a plan yet, but I knew one thing. I knew her. Every secret, every weakness, every dirty detail she'd trusted me with. That was my weapon. I grabbed a notebook, started jotting down everything I remembered about her. Her affair with Mark, the married guy, her shaky job situation, her boyfriend Liam, who she kept on the side, her overpriced downtown apartment she could barely afford. My pen moved faster, my heart racing. This was it. I'd hit her where it hurt most. I'd take everything from her, just like she did to me. Game on. Emma had a secret she swore me to keep. For years, she'd been sneaking around with Mark, a married guy with 2 kids. She'd gush about him, how he got her like no one else. I never approved. I'd tell her to find someone single, but she'd laugh it off, say I didn't understand love. I kept her secret, though, until now. I knew this was my first move. If I could expose her affair, it'd hit her hard. I dug through old texts, screenshots, photos, anything she'd sent me about Mark. There it was. Flirty messages, her gushing about their secret dates at fancy restaurants in Bellevue. One night, she'd called me, upset, saying Mark ghosted her before a date. She'd tracked his location to a Tacoma nightclub, begged me to go with her. I did. We saw him with another woman, kissing her. Emma confronted him, tears streaming down her face. He fed her lies, and she ate them up. I saved those texts, those moments. Now, I compiled everything. Heart eyes emojis, promises of leaving his wife soon. I created a burner email, attached the evidence, and sent it to Mark's wife, Sarah. I kept it simple. You deserve to know the truth. My heart pounded as I hit send. I waited, checking my phone obsessively. 2 days later, it blew up. Sarah didn't just confront Mark. She went public. She posted the screenshots on Facebook, tagging Emma. The post spread like wildfire. Our old friend group saw it. Coworkers, neighbors. Emma's name was dragged through the mud. Comments called her a homewrecker, a liar. She tried to deny it, but the evidence was ironclad. Friends who once adored her turned their backs. I watched her Instagram stories go silent. No more new beginnings posts, just nothing. I leaned back in my chair, a dark thrill running through me. Emma was humiliated, exposed. It felt good, really good, but I wasn't done, not even close. Emma's job was her pride. She worked at the same Seattle marketing firm we'd both been at, now climbing the ladder I'd been kicked off. Reputation was everything in her world. Clients trusted her to be polished, professional, flawless. I knew exactly how to shatter that illusion. If she could ruin my career, I'd return the favor, tenfold. I started small, calculated. Using a burner account, I created a fake Instagram profile in Emma's name. I pulled photos from her real account, smiling at networking events, posing at Pike Place Market to make it convincing. I bought a few thousand followers, sprinkled some likes, made it look legit. For a week, I posted harmless stuff. Coffee coffee shots, city views. No one suspected a thing. Then I turned up the heat. I started dropping comments on industry pages, petty jabs at competitors, snarky remarks about clients. Nothing too wild at first, just enough to raise eyebrows. "This campaign's a flop," I'd write, or "Their CEO's clueless." I knew her colleagues followed those pages. The whispers started. I ramped it up, posting edgier stuff, borderline offensive takes on hot-button topics. The account gained traction, and people noticed. Her name was getting dirty. I wasn't done. I crafted an anonymous email to her firm's HR, posing as a concerned coworker. I attached screenshots of the fake account's posts, claiming Emma had been mouthing off in the office too. I hinted at her recent personal drama, the affair scandal, to make her seem unhinged. My hands shook as I hit send, but I felt alive, powerful. A week later, I got word through a mutual contact. Emma was called into HR. By Friday, she was fired. The affair rumors hadn't helped her case. Her perfect career, gone. I sat in my apartment, staring at my laptop, a twisted smile creeping across my face. She'd lost her job just like me. The score was evening out. Emma wasn't just sneaking around with Mark. She had a boyfriend on the side, Liam, a quiet guy we both knew from college. He was sweet, introverted, the kind who avoided social media like the plague. Emma treated him like a backup plan, someone to keep her company until Mark left his wife. Liam deserved better, and I was going to make sure he saw Emma for who she really was. I knew Liam didn't know about her affair. The public blow-up with Mark's wife hadn't reached him. He was too offline for that, but I had his email, the only way he stayed connected. I created another burner account, kept it vague, professional. "You should know who you're dating," I wrote. I attached screenshots of Emma's texts with Mark, flirty, explicit, full of promises about their future. My pulse raced as I typed, imagining her face when this blew up. I didn't stop there. I fabricated a few messages, nothing crazy, just enough to plant doubt. A fake text from Emma to another guy about meeting up late. I made it look real, matching her texting style. I sent it all to Liam, spacing out the emails over weeks. Each one chipped away at his trust. "She's not who you think," I wrote in the final one. My hands were clammy, but I felt a rush. It worked. A month later, I heard through a friend that Liam dumped Emma. She was gutted, posting cryptic Instagram stories about heartbreak from her tiny Seattle apartment. I almost felt bad. Almost. Liam was collateral damage, but Emma didn't deserve him. She'd played him, just like she'd played me. I leaned back, savoring the sting she must have felt. 2 down, 1 to go. Emma's downtown Seattle apartment was her last stronghold. A sleek, overpriced place in Belltown, it screamed status. Exactly what she craved. But I knew she was barely scraping by. Rent was $2,200 a month, eating up most of her paycheck. She'd complained about it constantly, always short on cash for brunch or drinks unless I covered her. That was my opening. If I could take her home, she'd have nothing left. I started with her landlord. Posing as a credit agency, I sent an email from a burner account. "Ms. Emma Thompson's credit usage is unusually high," I wrote, hinting she'd default on rent again. Emma had mentioned late payments before, so I knew this would spook him. My heart thumped as I hit send, picturing her smug face crumbling. Next, I spread rumors. I contacted a neighbor in her building, claiming to be a concerned resident. I dropped hints about Emma's affair scandal, saying she was unstable and causing drama. I knew Belltown's tight-knit community would eat it up. Soon, neighbors were whispering. One even complained to the landlord, saying they felt unsafe with Emma around. It was perfect. The landlord acted fast. With no job and a tarnished reputation, Emma was a liability. Within weeks, she got an eviction notice. I heard through a mutual friend she was couch surfing, lugging her stuff from one place to another. Her polished life was gone. No job, no boyfriend, no home. I sat in my Capitol Hill apartment, staring out at the city lights. A cold satisfaction washed over me. I'd leveled the playing field. She was nothing now, just like me. I'd won. Emma had nothing left. No job, no boyfriend, no home. I'd burned her life to the ground, just like she did mine. Sitting in my Capitol Hill apartment, I felt a rush, a dark thrill. I'd check her Instagram, now a ghost town. No more glossy Seattle skyline shots. Friends ditched her. She was a pariah, couch surfing, broken. I'd even started talking to Liam, her ex, over coffee. He thanked me for saving him from her. I smirked, savoring every second of her downfall. But the high didn't last. That rush faded, leaving a hollow ache. I'd landed a new job at a marketing startup in Fremont, a good one, $70,000 a year. I should have been killing it, but I wasn't. My focus was shot. I'd spend hours obsessing over Emma's misery, checking for updates, rumors, anything. My work suffered, missed deadlines, half-baked campaigns. My boss pulled me aside, her eyes sharp. "Get it together, Lauren." I nodded, but my mind was elsewhere. Liam stopped texting. He said I talked about Emma too much, that I was stuck in the past. He wasn't wrong. Revenge had consumed me. I barely slept. My apartment a mess of takeout boxes and unopened mail. I'd won, but at what cost? I was angry, bitter, alone, mirroring the person I'd destroyed. One rainy afternoon, I saw Emma at a coffee shop in Pioneer Square. She sat alone, hunched over her phone, eyes tired, face pale. No makeup, no spark. She was a shell of the vibrant woman I once knew, my best friend. My chest tightened. I didn't approach her, just watched. She looked so small, so fragile. For the first time, I didn't feel victorious. I felt empty. I went home, sat on my couch, the city lights blurred by rain. My reflection stared back from the dark TV screen. I'd ruined her, but I'd lost myself too. Revenge was supposed to fix me, make me whole. Instead, it was poison, eating me alive. I'd taken everything from Emma, but I was no better off. Was it worth it? I still don't know.